guys. I am getting ready to do my second 3D gnome. This is my first. I only put one sealing coat of epoxy on here because I knew I was keeping it. It's not going to be used. It's just, he's going to set on a shelf. And so I did not worry about doing a second coat of epoxy. So he's just sealed so no glitter comes off. This is Gnome, and I am getting ready to make him a Juliet. Same cup, 30 ounce Ozark Trail. All I can say is let's get started. I've got him for reference because I want to keep them somewhat symmetrical. I have glitter from making Marie everywhere. Got my clay. I've got my rolling pin. I've got various things that I use that are not traditional to work with clay. So all I can say is let's get started. First thing I want to do is his nose, of course, because her nose. I'm looking at Gnome, and I know it's not original, but you know, I love that movie. So his name is Gnome, her name will be Juliet. And I have got to come up with a feather stone. I have not thought of a way to do that yet, but I will. So I'm going to take just a small hunk of clay, and it'd probably be too big, it usually is. With Juliet, she of course is not going to have a beard, but she will have braids coming down each side of her face to hide the face. And she will be red, just like in the movie. Gnome was blue, Juliet was red, to simulate the different families. And I can't honestly say how long I will be able to sit here today. I hurt my back shoveling snow, so this may be a multiple day tutorial. I've got the Gnome one I'm editing now, and we will see how it goes. Wow, what do you think, guys? I actually made the nose. The right size. First cat out of the bag. What do we think of that? Now, what I will do is hold on. Take his lid off. And this is just an old cup that I've had sitting around. It's set around forever because nobody uses them. Oh, and it's actually a little bit shorter. Oh, I know why too, because it's got that rubber thing on the bottom, which I did not take the plastic off of. Just a minute. I usually take this plastic protector off after I'm done epoxy, but I was not sure that I was going to keep him, except for the fact that my mother absolutely fell in love with him. So, all right, so Juliet's a little bit shorter. Did not know they had changed them so much. This one's new, this one's old. But anyway, take your nose, and being that she's shorter, I will put it just a hair down farther, and then you just kind of want to press it against the cup a little bit. You don't want to flatten it too terribly much. You want it to stay kind of bulbous, but you want it to conform to the cup, so when you bake it, it has the shape. And if you've change this stupid Band-Aid. I may have to take it off and reshape it just because that Band-Aid just shoved into there. And don't worry about it. You see how it's picking up the Marie glitter that I used? Don't worry about that because we are going to paint over it and all will be right with the world. This whole one-handed business is for the birds, I tell y'all. Do not mess with a razor blade before your morning coffee or you end up with stitches. All right, see how that is? It's molded to the thing. Now, with Gnomeo, I set him upright and it kept falling off. And you want to talk about aggravated because he kept having a flat side to his nose because it would fall off. So I'm going to try to do that while I get a drink of coffee. And I'm going to move my turntable right there because I don't need it right this minute. Move my cup over there. Now we are going to do the rope for her hat. That's probably going to be too much, but that's okay because after, hold on, I got to try to get over and pick up my weeding. Okay. After we do the rope for the hat, we'll want to have the wrinkles that you put in, and you want them to be roughly the same size. So that works. And you just got to knead your clay a little bit to get it to go. And in this warm room today, it's not going to take much. But the sun is shining. The snow seems to be melting. And works for me. All right, so like I said, you're going to pick up some yuck off your table if your table is anything like mine. You want to lay down parchment or something to protect it, it's fine, but you're just going to paint over it, so it should not matter a whole heck of a lot. Alright, and you want it a little thick because you're going to have to pinch down one side. You do want it round, however. And now to make it, I think I'm just going to run it off the back like I did the Gnomeos. I want it touching the nose, but not pushing down. Her hat will need to be a little bit closer to the face because she's going to have braids instead of a beard to cover the face. You know what I mean? So unless you want braids this wide, you'll want to bring her hat a little in closer. And then bring it to the back where you want it to cross. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and cut under it. Set those to the side. And then where it crossed, I'm going to kind of pinch it together in a V. And I'm not going to clip it again because if you're going to put a pom-pom on the end of it, I will. You don't want a big V. Alright, so that's how she looks. And I still hold it a little far out from where I wanted it, so I'm rolling it in a little bit. There, that's how I want it. So here you just kind of for lack of a better word, smush the rim of your clay down on your cup all the way around, and then you'll come back and you'll smooth it out. Okay, now I'm going to do this. I'm going to pause the camera and I'm going to do this, and I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back, almost done. What I didn't do is I didn't smooth it out completely right here because I wanted to show you guys how to do it, but see, there's a couple little imperfections here, and I'm not that worried about it because I'm going to paint this, which brings me to something. You see, I didn't prep this tumbler. It's okay because it's going to go in the oven after the clay, and then once it's cooled, I'm going to spray paint it. So then it'll be prepped and we'll have no worries. So anyway, and then of course we'll have glitter on it so it will hide any little flaws. I mean, it won't hide anything major, but anyway, long story short, the way you want to smooth this is just take your finger and roll it down, and it'll help keep your edge round. And then once you get it out, just apply more pressure as you go down, and then it gets you level with your cup. And then like this here, you just take your finger and you rub it, and it'll disappear. The more you warm the clay up, the easier it is to mold. And you really want, where the cup bends, you really want to make sure that you get that really smushed, like I said, for lack of a better word, onto the cup, because when you bake it, your clay will try to shrink where it's not attached. So, and then you'll get the little pills of clay and you just rub them off. But right here, you just rub your finger. And then if it does it, just pick up one of the little clay balls and put down in there and rub it again, and poof, it's gone. All right, so there we are with that. Now, with our little snakes that we did not use, or that we had excess, I'm gonna roll it out just a tiny bit thinner. Not a whole lot, nothing dramatic. And this is going to be over the initial rim of the hat. What I want to do, both sides, it needs to taper down because, well, it's a wrinkle, it doesn't stop abruptly. Forgive the paint under my fingernails too. I don't even remember what I was painting black, but I was painting something black. All right, there's that one. And right now I'm just sticking them on at random. Don't want it exactly to match. That's going to be probably the pom-pom. Don't want it to exactly match Gnomeo, but you know, turn him around. Look where you got his, just for some ideas. Where the pom-pom will integrate, and that is why I cut that off. needs to be just a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's warm this up. Because like I said, the warmer this stuff is together, the easier it fits. And well, we want it to fit, right? We want it to keep its round shape. Alright, there's the pom-pom. Now, for these, you want to smash on both sides because it is a wrinkle, it is not a rim. So you will smash down both sides just like we did around here. I'm going to do that off camera and we'll be right back. Okay guys, I've got everything smoothed out and how I want it to look. Like I said, they're wrinkles, they're not hat brim or anything else like that, so you want to kind of just poke them out. Now, one thing that came to mind while I was doing this was if you've ever worked with fondant and you get this stuff to temperature, that's what it's like working with. It's like working with fondant. So if you're good at doing cakes and fondant, then you can do whatever you want with this sculpted clay. That's what I did before I got into making cups, is I made cakes. And it reminds me a lot of working with fondant. In fact, that's where I have a lot of my fondant tools in here to work with this clay. But you just smooth it out on both sides. And now I think we are ready for her braids. This will take a minute to work this clay up. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I think I will make 2 different snakes, or 1 snake, cut it in half. That way they're the same diameter. Do I want to cut it or do I want to split it and braid snakes? I don't know. I'll have to play. So we will see what we get here. If I had a scale, I would just actually weigh these, but I don't have a scale, so we'll just put this together and just do it this way because, well, because. All right, we're coming to temperature finally. Good thing about having hot little hands. All right. Good thing for clay, not a good thing for cakes and fondant. But this isn't cakes and fondant. I quit doing that because, well, I just did. So what I'm going to do is that, and there's close enough to half. So I think what I'm going to do is this in thirds. these will need to be a little bit longer because they are going to be braided. And then I'm going to flatten them. But you want them to be somewhat symmetrical. So just worry about your diameter, not really your length, because, well, because we're going to be trimming anyway. All right, there's those three. Let's try to get that over here out of the way. Be sure to keep rolling them whenever you move them so you don't have any flat spots, because once, of course, we get this going, we will flatten them a little bit so I can add some texture and everything like I did to his mustache. And she's going to be gray-headed as well because, well, that's what I like. Sorry about notifications. It's a little bit short, but we'll be okay. Oh, and I just gouged my fingernail into her nose. Usually whenever I'm messing with clay, I end up taking my rings off because of what it does here. Like it did there, it just left a thing. In fact, I'm going to, if I can get it off over my Band-Aid. Okay, I'm going to move these up out of my way a little bit more, give me some more rolling room here. That's a little bit thinner than I wanted there on the end and in the middle, so we're going to just roll this one all over again and maybe add a little bit because I was short on that one. That's why I divide it out and then roll it. Or, yeah. That way I get it at the same diameter for each one. Okay, so now I have my snakes, which some of them are way longer than the others. Snakes, ropes, whatever you want to call them. Okay, so I'm going to start with the middle being the longer of them because, well, the middle crosses over more, I think. I don't know. Anyway, we are going to braid these bad boys. Hold on. I done messed up because I'm sideways. I can't braid my own hair backwards either. that's what we're gonna have to do. I'm just gonna have to hold it. So, oh, we're gonna break right there. That's what I was worried about. Okay, so it'll be okay. Okay, now the thing is we just have to find our best piece, which we need to get a measurement for. And let's see if I have something long enough to measure. Oh, forgive my pajamas. I know you guys probably see them now. Okay, so cut off to about here. Okay. And that's going to be the top. All right. Let's make sure everything is kind of sort of smushed together here. Oh, timber back. All right, so getting that off the table. This is probably going to be the most difficult part of this is, oh, that's way too long. How did I do that so long? This was the most difficult part of Gnomeo, I know, was laying this down without messing anything up. I don't think I have anything big enough. We will go with that. Okay, so that needs to end there, and then like that. Is getting this in here without messing everything up. So that's, I actually use my stylus for that, to get it in here. And smooth the hat out. I'm going to kind of gently at the base, kind of mush the base of her braid down to the cup so it doesn't move and shift when it's baking. You want it to blend completely in with the cup. You don't want any naked cup showing. What I will do is take either my stylus or my popsicle stick. Sometimes I use a skewer. And I'd put in the hair direction. Being that it's braided, you want it to move the direction of the braids going. Okay guys, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue and then I'm going to come back on this side. And I will, before I go to the oven, I will show you what it looks like. Okay guys, this is where we're at. Now I'm off to bake her for 20 minutes at 275, I think it is. Hold on, let me read the instructions. 275. So it's per half inch, but we're good because we have a lot of holes. So we are going to do her at 275 for 20 minutes and then let her cool completely. Okay guys, here she is. I painted her. She's baked. I'm going to do her nose real quick and her braids and then let her set and dry overnight, and then I will be back tomorrow to do the rest of it. Maybe tonight at some point in time I will come in and paint this red. I don't know, but I mixed up yellow, pink, and white to get the peach for her nose. And I needed to use it, so get that done. And then the gray for her braids. And goodness, my husband's allergies are going crazy because the weather's getting ready to change back to where we're supposed to be this time of year. So you may be hearing that a lot because apparently he cannot control it. So, anyway, I'm going to paint this and then I will do a second coat once it's dry. See, on Nomeo, I liked it better because I actually left his nose off because, like I was telling you earlier, it kept falling off. So it was easier to paint because I painted the whole thing and didn't have to worry about missed places. But this way, I paint it this way because I can paint white over where I touch on the braids, or gray, and then I can paint red where the glitter is going to go on her outfit. So it is what it is at this point. All right. It's going to take more than one coat to cover. I can tell you that now. It's just kind of got a funky yellow tint to it at the moment. All right, so there's that. Wipe it off. And then I'll come in and wipe some of the excess off where I went off of the nose. That way it's not layering up too terribly bad whenever I have to go over it. And then the gray. And then I'll do, I don't know if you watched my tutorial on the beard and mustache of Nomeo, but I did the gray, and then I went over it with a very, very, very watered down black and then I wiped it off. But this, I'm going to let the black or the gray sit overnight and dry. And actually, I think I'm going to come in with the bigger brush on this and get in here with this way. And like I said, it's all going to be painted before I do any glitter anyway. And it's going to be over the white, of course. I'm going to go over where the glitter is going to go with the red, and I've decided I was going to use Glitter Craze's Scarlet, but I cannot find it, so I'm going to use Crimson from Hobby Lobby. So that is going to be my glitter of choice for Juliet. Get in here and get all of these little areas here, and then I will come in on the sides closer to and get the details, because I don't want to hit the nose, because it's like I said, he's already got his first coat on. And I think I have, I don't know what that was. Come in and get the more difficult areas to reach here with the brush, the smaller brush anyway. Pardon my hair, which is a mess at the moment. I got some killer bedhead going on. And I'm not going to get too close to the nose at the moment because I have to go back over it anyway. And well, that's just, I'll end up having to paint over that same spot, so I might as well just wait. Okay, and I think I've got in between all of these braids on this side. Maybe give me just a minute to double check here. And if you don't get every little spot, it's okay, because trust me, that black will get in everywhere. And it is going to go into these lower places, and I won't be able to get it out. And that's the point of it. It's supposed to make details and shadows and whatnot. So Alright, now got the mane laid in there. Come back with this brush. And this brush is actually about hatted. It's one that I used to put the glue and stuff on my glitter cups, on like my tangram and stuff like that. Just did a really cool stained glass one. I'll have the tutorial up for it a little bit later this week. Actually, it'll end up being next week because it's Saturday now. I've lost my days. It's this snowstorm has just been crazy. My husband had not been to work in a week. My daughter has not been to school in over a week. It's just like, well, she's done virtual learning, but she has not left the house to go to school. I'll put it that way. So I've had 0 time away from anybody, which I love my family, don't get me wrong, but dang. And I probably keep pulling him out of frame, but I try to get her close so I can see where I'm at. Again. And I don't worry too much about the brush strokes, because, well, I just don't. There is that. Now, as you can see, I've got to go in here. I don't know, maybe you can't see that. I don't know. in here and get this peach off of the there. Now I'm going to grab a different brush. Excuse me. Different brush here, and I'm going to come in to this little tight area here where her hair goes and go all the way up into the crevice here beside the nose to make sure that hair is done. And then of course that'll change from, I'll take my liner brush and go along it for the red of her hat later. And I've got a very upset helper kitty outside because I did not let her in. But that will be where that goes. There's that. And like I said, any black will get down because it's water. I mean, it's literally just black water, and then I wipe it off. It will get down in the cracks and the crevices. And I just want to make sure that I have every spot that I need to on this nose covered. Trying not to be a perfectionist, but some spots need to be retouched every once in a while. And I'm actually going to cover this paint because there never fails that the moment you throw your paint out, you need that exact color mixed again. So, but I'm going to scrape my sticks off, throw them up on my parchment paper. And then I just take one of my cups and I put over the top of it and push down, and it's sealed. And I can use those sticks tomorrow to stir if I need to. But that's done. And she is going to set overnight and cure, let the paint cure, and we'll go from there. See you tomorrow. Good morning, YouTube. Going to work on Juliet today. Sun is shining, the snow is gone. Mother Nature is smiling on us once again. Yay. Got some wet paper towels. Some really, really wet paper towels. Which in fact I need to separate. Excuse the doggy noises. My helpers are back today because, well, everybody's back to work and school and all is right with the world. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate to separate paper towels and it's just not wanting to separate. Anyway, dogs are in here with me, long story short. Making noises, grumbly noises, because, you know, they're dogs. And they're not getting attention. Wet paper towels, very, 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 very drippy wet paper towels. I'm going to do the black wash for the mustache. A little bit of water in the cup. Try try to keep everywhere else dry. Teensy, 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 tiny bit of black paint in the water. Paintbrush. And then stir, stir, stir. Now, like I said, whenever we did this last time on Gnome, if you have baby wipes would be perfect for this. I don't keep baby wipes around the house. It's just one of those things. It's a waste for me to buy because they'll just set, and then I'll use them all, and then they'll just set because I'll buy some more and they'll just set forever, and then I'll find a project that I'll use them on. So I use wet paper towels. No biggie. Life goes on. But I'm going to do her like I did Gnome. Hold on. Back's still just a little bit sore, but it'll be okay. I'm going to do her like I did Gnome. Let me adjust this camera this morning. It's just not where I want it to be. I mean, if I was right under the tripod, that would be one thing, but I'm not. And it didn't go above the click, so hold on. Just 1 second. There we go. So, anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to do her like I did the Gnome cup. And that's going to be, take some of the black wash, put it on the gray braids, and wash it off. Or wipe it off. No, without letting it dry. Alright, so here we go. And it's just to get in the nooks and crannies and add some detail and depth. We may have to add just a little bit more black paint to that. It didn't stick enough. I mean, actually, what I could probably do with this would be just to blot off instead of rinse off. Let's see if that'll work. Nope, it's even too thin for that. Okay, so we'll add just a little bit more black paint, no biggie. You hush. Leave the birds alone. Okay, now let's see. Hush. You hear me, Missy? Hush. Now this has been setting for a couple days so it could dry because I didn't want the acrylic paint to get the soggies whenever I did this. And just as long as it gets down in the cracks and crevices, that's what we want. Get out of my cardstock. She thinks she's helping. Actually, she knows she's being nosy is what she does. And take a corner of your paper towel and sop up anywhere that it's too dark for your liking. Just going to soak up a little bit here and there because I kind of like the way that's vibing. But wipe some of it down because she's not going to be more gray-headed than him. That's not cool. And once again, I forgot to terminate notifications. Sorry. But just keep playing with it until you're happy with the way it's laying. And its look overall in general, I guess. Ooh, I got splattered my paint out by swirling it. You gotta remember that it's watery. Trying to shake it every once, or not shake it, but swirl it every once in a while so it doesn't settle. It's just not staying in the crack here that I want it to stay in. So I'm just going to let it set for a minute. Make sure it gets down in all of them. I'm going to just wipe the top layer. Off. I don't think my grooves in my upper braid are deep enough, and that's why it's coming out. So there's that one. I'm not sure what kind of noise we got going on outside, but it's not my house, so I'm going to try not to worry about it. Sounds like somebody may have their chainsaw out. Okay. All right. more detailed than others, which of course is the reason we put the lines in. All right, I did not get the nose, so woohoo. Oh, I just did though. It's okay. I saved paint from the other day, so we're good. All right. See, that one actually worked out a lot better than a lot more how I wanted it to. Excuse me. All right, let's get a different paper down here. Okay, yeah, that one turned out more like I wanted it to. So, I'm going to go over this one again and just let it set. Because, you know, why not? What's it gonna hurt? And I just dripped on the table again. I think that's where I'm going to leave her. I'm going to clean up, wipe it up, which there's no biggie here. Oh, let me get some of my trash bag. And then wet paper towel. Does not have to be extremely wet anymore. And I'm not, like I said, worried too terribly much about this because it's going to be painted and glittered anyway. But we can clean it up a little bit. Have to redo the nose in a couple spots, no biggie. Alright. And there we go. Now let her dry again. And I will come back and paint the red. And we'll go from there. Okay, guys. We are just getting some paint down for a base coat. I will go back with another coat in a little bit and get really close around the edges and the details. But right now, I'm just throwing some red on for a base coat, and we'll be back. Okay, guys, as you can see, I've got my glitter and my painted Mod Podge out. I was making sure that that was the color of red that I wanted to use, and I did a test, and it is. That's the color I definitely want. So we are going to glitter this girl and try to get done with her so I can paint the epoxy on her tomorrow and have her displayed soon. So we're just going to glitter her. I will probably not say a whole lot during this tutorial, this part, and we will probably just end up fast forwarding through it. So Alright guys, there she is. She'll dry for a couple days and then I will epoxy her. If you like this tumbler or have one you want to see me make, comment down below. Subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.